This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5 on Good Morning Indiana, an estimated 49 million people will hit the roads for Thanksgiving travel this year, and we're working for you with tips from INDA to keep you safe on the roads.
Plus, the investigation into a deadly police shooting in South Bend likely won't wrap up until February. Why this could negatively impact Pete Buttigieg's presidential campaign.
And before you throw your turkey in the fryer for tomorrow's dinner, there's some important safety tips you'll want to keep in mind. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with what you need to know to avoid any Thanksgiving Day turkey troubles. You don't want to see that out on your back patio on Thanksgiving.
No.
Thanks for joining us on this Storm Team 6 Alert Day. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us now. And Todd, as we've been sitting here this morning, we have been hearing that rainfall come down. I can't imagine what it is like outside right now.
You know, it's warm. That's the good news, right?
Yes,
You're walking outside and you're like, oh, it kind of has this spring-like feel to it.
Right.
But that rain that you heard, that is the cold front going through, and things are going to get a lot different here as the day goes on. So yesterday evening, we got into that steady rain as expected. This is the cold front coming through, and along this front, it's a thin band of heavy rains now through Nashville, Columbus. You're up next. Shelbyville, the rain is moving in right now. And then as you go to the north, some pretty good rain in Anderson, some scattered showers in Peru as well as Marion. So here's the cold front. We'll continue to push to the east once this exits the area. With the exception of a hit or miss shower, we're basically done with the rain. But look at the big picture here. Some heavy snow in Minneapolis into Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. Chicago, though, on the warm side of it. Once this rain ends, the wind will start to pick up. So high wind warnings posted to the north from Indianapolis northward to the south. It is a wind advisory. Look for gusts this afternoon to be anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour. So it turns into an extremely windy day, and the winds change direction. Temperatures will plummet here this afternoon while it's mild right now, Lauren. Low to mid 40s throughout much of the afternoon.
All right, Todd, we do have some good news on the roads. Despite the rain out there, we do have the interstates traveling up to speed. Let's take a look at some drive times. Heading southbound this morning from the northwest side, starting here at State Road 267, heading southbound on Interstate 65 from Whitestown down to the North Split. It's a 20-minute drive, no problems there. And let's take a look in the downtown area. I-65, a view from St. Clair Street. This is between the north and south splits. Traffic is moving along smoothly, as you can see. Just use caution out there. And hey, speaking of the roads, we can tell you that INDOT is encouraging drivers to be safe this busy travel season. Today, some road closures and lane restrictions are going to be lifted to make your drive easier, but officials are asking you to stay informed, monitor any construction you may run into, and also slow down, especially if you happen to hit a work zone. Plan ahead, allow for time for delays, especially with the weather, and always drive sober. Construction work is expected to resume on Monday morning.
As everyone prepares to make their Thanksgiving feast, we want to remind you this morning about some important safety tips that will keep you and your family safe. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning from Wayne Township with some do's and don'ts ahead of tomorrow's dinner. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so Thanksgiving Day is the #1 day for house fires across the country. And there are some safety tips that you can keep in mind as far as don't leave your kitchen while things are cooking, keep the kids clear from the kitchen, and then also make sure that all of your smoke alarms are working. But a lot of people choose to fry their turkey. So I'm here with Captain Mike Pruitt, who's going to kind of give us the rundown all morning about what we need to do to prepare to fry a turkey.
Right. Well, the first thing we do, if you're going to choose to deep fry, which we discourage that really, there's other alternatives out there we'll get into later this morning, but making sure you find the right site to do that. We see so many times people posting pictures in their garage with the deep fryer going, and that is a bad situation just waiting to happen. So when you're going to prepare for deep fried turkey, make sure that we find a spot good ways away from any structure. Make sure it's a nice level spot, and that's where we want to do our frying at, and make sure everybody stays away from that fryer while it's cooking, and also keep an eye on it the whole time. A lot of people like to drop something in there, start frying it, and walk away, and then something bad would happen. So we just make sure you're putting it in a safe place.
All right, and is there anything we need to do to prep it? Is there certain things we need to keep in mind?
As far as prepping, so if we are going to prep the site, like I said, make sure level spot, make sure you have a fire extinguisher ready, and just in case you would need one, always check your equipment. Make sure you check your propane tanks and make sure the hoses are all in good shape, because the last thing you want is a propane leak of any type when you're cooking that delicious turkey.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll be here all morning at the Wayne Township Fire Department, and coming up at 6:30, we will show you what it looks like when you improperly fry a turkey. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kelsey, you guys be careful out there. It has been 8 long months since Avon mother Naja Farrell went missing. And with the holidays coming fast, her family is issuing an urgent plea to you. Speaking publicly for the first time on Tuesday, Naja's mother, Paula Golson, says the last time anyone spoke with Naja was March 15th when she left for work, but she never made it. Naja's car was found later that month, and a fisherman found one of her body parts in a pond about 2 hours north of Indianapolis. Since then, police say there have been no major developments in the case. This will be the family's first holiday season without Naja, and they're hoping someone will come forward soon.
That was her thing, holidays, so it's a tough time for us. It's first year, and it's time as we never thought it would get to these many months. They tell you life isn't fair, and I was raised like that it isn't. But at some point, some things need to be fair, and I need to make it fair.
Avon police have filed dozens of search warrants, interviewed many, and gathered surveillance video from places Farrell may have been, but that case remains unsolved. If you have any information that could help in this case, call Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana today at 317-262-TIPS. At 5:06, new information this morning. The investigation into a deadly shooting of an African-American man by a white police officer in South Bend likely will not be finished before February.
That could spell trouble for Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg, as the release of the findings could coincide with the February 3rd Iowa caucus or the February 11th New Hampshire primary. While Buttigieg has gained momentum in both of those states, he's continued to struggle to rally black voters. South Carolina, the first primary state with a sizable African-American population, will vote on February 29th, and we could see the effect of the investigation. Back here at home, a reminder about the dangers of leaving your car running unattended, even if just for a minute or two. Greenwood police say that was the case when someone stole a vehicle yesterday afternoon with a 3-year-old boy in the back seat. It happened just before 4 o'clock at a truck stop at I-65 in Main Street. About 9 miles away, the child was dropped off safely at a gas station at Troy and Keystone on the south side of Indianapolis, where he and his mother reunited. Police have still not located the suspect or the car.
At 5:07, Indiana State Police has launched an investigation into a Fishers police officer for possible misconduct. Officer Robert Bowling has been placed on administrative leave. The allegation involves ghost employment. That's typically when a government employee works outside of the agency during their government work hours. The Fishers Police Department says that it will assist state police in their investigation, and it will also do its own internal investigation. RTV6 reached out to Bowling, and we are still waiting for a response.
The Indigo Red Line has been free for 3 months, but that is ending this weekend with a temporary payment system. Beginning this Sunday, December 1st, you have to pay to ride the Red Line. You can buy new paper tickets with cash or card at any Red Line station. At the Red Line stops, you can buy 2-hour passes, day passes, or week passes. The permanent system Indigo has planned, called My Key, isn't ready yet, so you will have to use the temporary one.
We're still working through some technology issues, so this is very new technology. So we're working through some troubleshooting now, and we hope to launch that soon. But again, we wanted to make sure our riders had a reliable system while we charge fare.
If you would like to ride after this Sunday, here's what you need to know. A 2-hour pass will cost you $1.75. A full day pass costs you $4. If you have a Medicare card, a valid K-12 student ID, or an Indigo half-fare ID card, you can get those passes for half of the price. You can also buy a week pass for $20 at the bus stop.
At 5:09, there's a huge opportunity for Colts fans who can sing and aren't afraid of doing that in front of a lot of people. The Colts are holding a Phantom contest to find someone to lead the national anthem before next month's fan appreciation game. The winner will also get 4 tickets to the game on December 22nd against the Panthers. You can apply through December 13th at colts.com/phantom. To prove you have what it takes, you have to include a video with a sample of your singing. Here to do his special, no, I'm kidding.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to make that same joke and say, and here's Todd Clausen's audition.
And I know you ladies too well. I knew that was coming.
Singing in the rain.
There is no way you will see me applying for that, or singing in the rain. All right, outside right now we have a couple things going on. The rain, as Meredith mentioned, continues to make its way through the area this morning. This is the last of the rain, though, so as soon as that goes through, we'll be in much better shape. But it's a cold front that's going through, so look what happens to the temperature. It's really mild outside right now, and it stays that way through about 8 a.m. But you notice the temperatures are decreasing throughout the morning, so the rain comes to an end, and then we're just dealing with mostly cloudy skies, 51 degrees by 8 a.m. And so as we work our way throughout the course of the morning, this rain will continue to move into Muncie and Richmond and Greensburg shortly. For those of you in Lafayette, Crawfordsville, and Terre Haute, you're done with the steady rainfall, but can't rule out the chance of maybe a few spotty showers on the backside of this system that goes through, but it's never going to become steady once again. However, as the system continues to move off to the east, the wind will become an issue for the day today. And these are your highs. They've pretty much already occurred. They will fall throughout the day. Much of the afternoon will be spent in the 40s. Now, at the top of your screen, you see a high wind warning. You see a wind advisory. Storm Shield would have alerted you to that when they issued that in the afternoon hours yesterday. You can pinpoint the alerts to your location. A few thunderstorms out there currently as well. Nothing severe, but Storm Shield, always a good tool to have, as the radar you can control as well, and it's free for your iPhone and your Android. We'll talk more about the high wind warning and the wind advisory coming up in Maine Weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thanks. The impeachment proceedings against President Trump are shifting to the House Judiciary Committee. Straight ahead, a look at what's to come and why the president may show up to the hearings in person.
As the holidays approach and family gatherings become more frequent, the Girl Scouts are reminding parents not to force their kids to give out hugs. The organization says the forced affection could be harmful. Time now, 5:11. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. Time right now is 5:14 from the West Coast to here in the Midwest. Nasty weather is barreling down on holiday travelers. If your plans include driving, you're going to want to be extra cautious behind the wheel as snow and ice blanket the roads in some areas. Here's John Lawrence with more.
Road wreckage in Washington state as dozens of vehicles get caught in a major accident near Spokane Tuesday. Icy roads and an isolated snowstorm are to blame, according to Washington State Patrol. In Nebraska, authorities said they were called to at least 15 crashes caused by snowy, slick roads. Similar problems in parts of California.
My first time traveling up, when it's snowing. Never really been out to the snow until today. We were trying to make it up there, but they're turning everybody around. I don't think it's going to be possible.
The National Weather Service says powerful storms are creating hazardous conditions for spots in the western and central sections of the country.
This obviously is our first big hitter for the season. It's not something that's new to us. We're just going to put our boots back on, get our plows ready to go, and go out and hit the road.
A winter weather advisory of some sort is affecting more than 20 million people from the West Coast to the Great Lakes. Some of them plan on staying indoors as much as possible.
Don't drive unless I have to. And I've got four-wheel drive in my pickup, and my wife has all-wheel drive in her car. So slow down, pay attention, keep your eyes on the road.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Today, just like here in central Indiana, people living in the Northeast are going to have some ferocious wind gusts. The harsh conditions may even force the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade to not use those iconic huge balloons during the annual event. We'll, of course, keep an eye on those conditions, and we're going to update you both on air and online.
Airline catering employees shut down traffic Tuesday near Los Angeles International Airport in a protest for higher wages and improved health care options. It was part of a larger nationwide protest that included 17 airports and 20,000 workers. In New York, workers staging a die-in joined by Mayor Bill de Blasio. Unite Here, the union representing the workers, says 1 in 4 employees with LSG Sky Chefs and Gate Gourmet earn less than $12 an hour. Union representatives also say 70% of members depend on Medicaid or go without health care altogether. Negotiations between the union and LSG Sky Chefs have been taking place since May.
House Democrats are They're moving forward with the impeachment proceedings. The House Judiciary Committee plans to hold its first hearing a week from today on December 4th. Committee Chairman Democrat Jerry Nadler invited the president and his counsel to attend and participate by questioning witnesses. There is no immediate response by the White House, but President Trump took to social media saying that he would like to see some of his top officials, like Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Secretary of Energy Rick Perry, testify. He went on to condemn the hearing, saying, quote, future presidents should in no way be compromised.
Julian Assange is in such poor health that he could die in prison. That's according to a 16-page letter published by WikiLeaks Monday. More than 60 doctors from several countries, including the U.S., signed the letter. In it, they say Assange is suffering from psychological problems, dental issues, and a shoulder ailment. The WikiLeaks founder was sentenced to 50 weeks in prison back in April after being kicked out of Ecuador's London embassy, where he lived for 7 years. Assange is currently fighting extradition to the U.S., where he faces espionage charges relating to his WikiLeaks work.
A manhunt is still underway for at least 2 burglars who smashed their way into a treasure trove of priceless artifacts inside of a German palace. It happened Monday just before 5 a.m. in the Dresden Castle. Police say it took the thieves just 5 minutes to pull off this heist. Surveillance video shows the thieves moving through the gallery with flashlights and violently smashing a glass display case with an axe. Investigators say the burglars made off with an Audi A6, a car that model was found just a few hours later. It was set on fire in an underground garage.
It's not just humans that are left or right-handed. Researchers in the Bahamas found animals like dolphins also show a clear preference. Scientists say common bottlenose dolphins showed a clear right side preference while under observation. During the study, they noticed dolphins usually made a quick turn before grabbing their food. Researchers say overall, about 80% of animals show a right side bias. I'm right-handed. Lauren, you're right-handed.
Right-handed.
Todd?
Right-handed.
All right. Well, we got a right-handed family
majority
here. Yes, we're just like the dolphins. And I think any water-loving animal would appreciate today's weather. Otherwise, no one else will.
You know, pretty much. Here underwater, you're not dealing with the wind, and that's going to be our big issue here throughout the day today. So I know it's been a wet overnight. We had the thunderstorms go through this morning, but we're kind of transitioning now from the rain impact here in central Indiana to the wind impact. And you notice wind gusts anywhere from 26 to 46 miles per hour. These will just continue to climb here throughout the day today. A high wind warning is in place across most of the area. Steady winds here, 25 to 35 miles per hour with some gusts, especially in the areas where the high wind warning is posted, up to 60 miles per hour. So we're just now starting to get into the wind part of this storm system, and that's what's going to impact us throughout much of the rest of the day. Here's what's left of the rain. Some pretty good heavy rain and some thunderstorms here from Columbus towards the Rushville area. This is moving off to the east very, very quickly, so it's going to be moving into Greensburg here within the next about 20-22 minutes. Fairview about 5:35. Germantown is just moving in currently to your area. So it's going to go through some gusty winds, some brief heavy rainfall. We've lost a lot of the lightning though, so that is the good news. And then to the north, Alexandria to Anderson, Muncie, up to Hartford City, we're just dealing with some general rain showers here across the area. So this is the cold front that is working its way through the area. Part of this big, huge storm system, the first of 2 that will be moving across the country. Minneapolis, some snow, probably rough go of it at the airport there this morning, extends into the Green Bay area. Chicago pretty much done with the rain. You'll deal with a lot of wind though if you're traveling through Chicago, but at least you're dealing with rain. But the thing now is this front as it goes through is going to change our wind direction. We're in the 50s right now. It's nice and mild. Evansville 62, but Chicago's 51. It's 50 in Peoria, 30s. That is what is heading our way. So while we're in the 50s right now across the area, our temperatures will just continue to fall here throughout the day today. We'll be in the 40s already by the time we get to 9 a.m. So the drop off is quick once it happens. And then much of this afternoon with just mostly cloudy skies and those windy conditions, we're looking at temperatures only in the 40s. So we've already hit our high for the day today. Thanksgiving is quiet for us, mostly cloudy, low 40s. Friday pretty quiet before more rain returns to the forecast for the weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look at traffic up on the north side of town. I-465 and Allisonville Road. You can see traffic here is moving along up to speed in all directions. The roads are wet, so use caution out there, but we're not monitoring any crashes, so that is great news as you're heading out there. Let's take a look on the south side. Our drive times heading northbound along State Road 37. Starting here in Greenwood, Smith Valley Road, heading northbound there to I-465. It's a 9-minute commute, so no delays. On I-65, starting at Whiteland Road, hopping on I-65 northbound, heading into downtown I-70 at the north split. It's an 18-minute drive, so everything there is traveling smoothly as well. Let's take a look on the west side of town. I-70 here on High School Road, no issues for your Wednesday morning drive.
As the holidays get underway, Girl Scouts of America is reminding parents that holiday hugs are not a must. The organization sent out this message saying young girls don't owe anyone a hug. The group says while consent may seem like a grown-up topic, setting physical boundaries at a young age is important and can influence how a girl feels about herself and her body as she gets older. The Girl Scouts advise parents to let their daughters decide on their own how and if they want to show affection. Some commuters in New York were treated to an early Thanksgiving feast thanks to a group of creative friends. Coming up, see the unusual place they decided to host their public Friendsgiving.
And here's the perfect way to get into the holiday spirit. Keep watching for your cue to call to win tickets to Christmas Nights of Lights display at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's 5:23. We'll be right back.
1,000-mile warranty at Honda of Fishers.
Some subway riders in New York City had an early Thanksgiving thanks to a group of local comedians, rappers, and content creators. They served up a full dinner on a subway train. Jonelle Lewis says they planned their Friendsgiving train adventure for 3 months. For 1 hour Sunday morning, they took over the L train. There was everything you could think of to complete a Thanksgiving feast, including turkey, ham, mac and cheese, and desserts. The heartwarming videos have now gone viral, but that's not what made it special for this group. They say they were happy to show the world caring New Yorkers and give back to their community. The group says they plan on making this an annual Thanksgiving tradition.
I love that.
And you know what's so great about that? Usually you have to inconvenience someone by having Friendsgiving at their house. No one had to make a mess in their kitchen. Yeah, there you go.
So we're just going to wait until Todd hosts his Friendsgiving on the red line. Yeah. With all his pals.
With our temporary passes.
Yeah. We have until Sunday to do it. Yeah.
All right. Outside right now, we're dealing with some rain moving through. It's a cold front, so most of the rain is now shifted off towards the east. Where it is raining, it's coming down quite heavy, as you see on Storm Team 6 radar. The rain's pretty much done for the day within the next hour or so, and then it's all about the wind. We have high wind warnings to the north, wind advisory to the south. Everybody sees gusts in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range. We'll talk more about the winds and your Thanksgiving Day forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, treacherous travel conditions as severe storms hit much of the country. What you need to know for your Thanksgiving plans.
And before you begin cooking that turkey for Thanksgiving, there's some important safety tips you need to remember so this doesn't happen to you. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live with how you can avoid a dinner disaster. But before we get to all of that, we got to look at our forecast back here at home.
Yeah, meteorologist Todd Clausen is monitoring a lot on this Storm Team 6 alert day. Todd, what are you looking at right now?
You know, right now we're talking about the rain. For much of the day, we're going to be talking about the wind. So we'll focus on the rain first as heavy rains move through. Actually came in last night, the steady rain, and I could hear it hitting the side of my house when I was trying to fall asleep last night. And here's what's left of it. Greensburg to Rushville to Connorsville, you're dealing with this thin band of heavy rainfall. Some gusty winds in here as well. And as we slide to the north, Newcastle to Muncie to Portland, up towards Marion, dealing with some spotty showers. But this is kind of the last hurrah for the rainfall. It'll move off into Ohio pretty quickly. And then on the backside of it, yeah, we could see a spot shower or two here this afternoon, but we're never going to get into a steady rain. Instead, what's going to happen is the wind is really going to start to pick up, and these winds are going to be whipping across the area anywhere from 40 to 50, maybe even 60 miles per hour as we get into the afternoon hours. The further north you are, the stronger the winds are going to be, and the winds are going to switch direction. It's nice and mild out there right now at temperatures that are in the 50s. They will not not stay there. By the time we get to mid-morning and then throughout the afternoon hours, temperatures will be into the low 40s, and that's where they will stay. So despite the warmth that's out there right now, make sure you do have the heavier coat as you walk out the door this morning.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at your commute on the northwest side of town. You're going to have to deal with the wet roads this morning, but the good news is everything is traveling smoothly here near I-65 and 38th Street. Let's take a look south of there on our west side. This is a 12-minute drive right now, eastbound on I-70 from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 downtown. So if you're maybe dropping someone off the airport heading back towards the downtown area, it's only going to take you 12 minutes. Everything there is traveling up to speed. Let's take one more live look right now. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and Brookville Road. This is on the east side of town. No crashes here to slow you down. We'll, of course, keep you updated if there are any issues for your commute.
Severe storms battering much of the country are causing flight cancellations and dangerous road conditions as many are beginning their Thanksgiving travels today.
Yeah, more than 100 million Americans are under some kind of weather alert, and it's because of two powerful storm systems. ABC's Janae Norman has more.
This morning, severe weather making Thanksgiving travel treacherous.
All this weather is kind of fouling things up.
Winter storm warnings are stretching from California to Michigan, some of them lasting until Friday. Overnight in the Midwest, a winter whiteout in the Twin Cities, where up to a foot of snow is possible before it ends this afternoon. Parts of the Colorado Rockies are digging out from feet of snow dumped by the same storm.
Woke up and thought I'd take a chance, but no dice. It's just too dicey, and thank God they closed the roads.
On the West Coast, an even stronger storm is sweeping off the Pacific Ocean, bringing hurricane-force winds. It's expected to be a record-setting system called a bomb cyclone, meaning it will intensify at an unusually rapid rate.
Up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, it means 1 to 2 inches of rain in Southern California. Some of those recent burn scars, we could see mudslides and debris flow. This thing moves across the nation, and that second storm could impact our weekend as everyone tries to get home.
Near Spokane, Washington, snow and ice is to blame for this massive pileup on an interstate involving up to 70 vehicles. With rain on the way in Southern California, thousands of people have been allowed back home in Santa Barbara after a wind-whipped wildfire forced them to flee. Wind is also the big story on the East Coast, where tomorrow's Macy's parade is in jeopardy because of heavy wind in the forecast. Organizers saying it will be a, quote, game day decision on whether the balloons will fly. With an estimated 55 million Americans hitting the road and the skies today, it won't be all fun and games.
Yeah, so you got to be careful out there. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of cuckoo birds out there.
Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, INDOT is encouraging drivers to be safe during this busy travel season. Don't be a cuckoo bird. Today, some road closures and lane restrictions will be lifted, but they're asking drivers to stay informed, monitor that construction. They want you to slow down, especially if you encounter any work zones. Pay attention to the roads, plan ahead, allow some time for delays, especially with the weather, and always drive sober. Construction work is expected to resume on Monday morning. We are following breaking news this morning from the city's east side. That's where police are investigating a shooting outside of Bar 52 that happened around 3 o'clock this morning. That's near Sherman Drive and English Avenue. Police say that a man was taken to the hospital. He's listed in serious condition this morning. Now, this isn't the first shooting near this establishment. Back in August, we told you that a man died after being shot while leaving this business.
RTV6 is working for you, taking a closer look at what a new federal law really means for animals in Indiana. President Trump signed the Preventing Animal Cruelty and Torture Law, which makes animal cruelty a felony nationwide. But animal rights advocates say the new law will not likely make much of a local impact. The law specifically targets those convicted of purposely crushing, burning, and seriously injuring an animal. Anything less is enacted at a local level, and by Indiana law, animal cruelty is a misdemeanor.
I just want people to understand that they still need to be advocating for the laws to be stronger in Indiana for animals.
The law signed by President Trump updated a 2010 law that makes the creation and distribution of animal crushing videos illegal. The previous bill outlawed the videos but didn't ban the actual acts of cruelty. This is the first nationwide animal cruelty law to be put in place.
It's 5:37. Noblesville Schools is looking for a new leader of special education after backlash over a meme. Mark Booth will no longer serve as the district's director of special education. RTV6 told you last week that Booth Booth shared a meme on his personal Facebook page that has a photo of President Trump and a caption that refers to him as, quote, special needs. Some parents said that image was insensitive and offensive to students Booth was supposed to be representing. The district says that he will be shifted to a role that focuses on analytical compliance.
The Southport High School boys basketball team will not be able to compete in this year's state tournament, but school leaders say they still plan to fight the decision. The Indiana High School Athletic Association has banned the team after head coach Eric Brand was accused of violating recruitment policy. He's accused of breaking the rules by raising money to help a student from Congo legally stay at the school. The district says the 15-year-old student was brought to the U.S. and enrolled at the school by a man posing as a coach. Speaking publicly for the very first time about the allegations, Coach Brand says his priority was and still is helping the teen.
He's a 15-year-old young man who's been in another country for 3.5 months, who the first man that he came in contact with didn't treat him right. I saw distress. I saw a young man's spirit dying. I saw a young man in trouble.
Southport High School will make its case at a hearing next week. The committee will have up to 10 days to release its decision.
At 5:38, an honor walk for a Southern Indiana football coach will be held at St. Vincent Hospital today. That's where Philip Bozeman was treated after suffering a stroke during a football game in Indianapolis on Friday. He died Monday. The walk will be held because Bozeman was an organ donor. Details have not been announced publicly just yet. The hospital says a minimum of 4 hours notice will be given. Funeral services will be held on Saturday.
Having more community spaces is often a suggestion we hear from residents of Indy's East Side neighborhoods. One businessman agrees and is now doing something about it. Phil Coleman created Officeplex, a business development center open to the community and entrepreneurs looking for a place to launch their future. It's located off of 10th Street near the John H. Bonner Community Center. It has a radio station, computer lab, office space, and jazz club. You can learn more about Officeplex in this story at theindychannel.com.
As everyone prepares to make their Thanksgiving feast, we want to remind you this morning about some important safety tips that'll keep you and your family safe. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning from Wayne Township. Kelsey, what do folks need to know?
Well, good morning. So the first thing they need to know is that Thanksgiving Day is the #1 day for house fires across the country. So that's why we want to give you these safety tips this morning. The first one being, don't leave your kitchen while things are cooking. Don't let kids be in the kitchen. It's just not safe. A lot of room for error. And then also make sure that your smoke alarms and smoke detectors are all ready to go and the batteries are up to date. Another thing people like to do is fry their turkey. So I'm here with Captain Mike Pruitt, who's going to kind of give us some insight on how to prepare for frying a turkey.
Right. So when we go to that turkey, and hopefully you've let this thing thaw for about 24 hours so that we know that it's close to ready and that it's not frozen in any way. So we want to make sure the turkey is completely thawed, completely dried out, and then we want to make sure we go in and we get all the giblets cleaned out, the neck, get everything taken care of inside the turkey. Now, where people will make a mistake is when they measure oil. So the easiest way to do that is we're going to take the turkey and we'll put it in the pot. And I've already put water in here. So once I put the turkey in, I see that I have water level above the turkey. So a lot of people at that point think that that's when they need to mark the oil level. So I would use a rod, this wooden rod that I have. I'll put it in here and mark it. But before I do that, we want to take the turkey back out. Okay, make sure you drain all the water out of it. So that got a little water left in there. Yeah, last time we splashed that. So then I want to go in and measure my water level in the pot, and I want to take like with this, a Sharpie, so I know that that's where my oil level needs to be. Because if I try to measure with the turkey in there,
you're gonna way too much.
Yeah, it's gonna be way too much oil, and I'm gonna get boil over when I drop my turkey in to do that deep frying.
Awesome, perfect. Well, coming up in the next half hour, we'll have an alternative instead of deep frying a turkey this Thanksgiving, and we'll have that for you coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Kelsey. Temperature right now, 57 degrees. This is the warmest it's going to be, unfortunately, all day. And that's because the cold front is continuing to work its way through the area. So we're almost done with the rain. That's the good news. Yesterday evening and overnight, it has been very, very wet for us. But Seymour to Greensburg, some good rain right now. Connorsville as well as we slide to the north up to Portland through the Winchester area down into Newcastle. Still dealing with a few showers. And that's really just about it. Going to show you the big picture, though. So we have the storm system that's bringing us the rain. It's snow in Minneapolis, big connection hub for Delta. Denver's much more quiet this morning. The Texas hubs, Dallas and Houston, are pretty good as far as air travel goes. But from San Francisco to Los Angeles, a lot of wind out there with mountain snows, coastal rain. So certainly some delays are possible on the west coast. And then this storm system, while it will be mainly rain for the northeastern portion of the country, they are going to deal with the wind just like we will throughout the day today. So from, say, the Mississippi River eastward, with the exception of the snow to the north, it's mainly wind issues. Off to the west, we have rain and snow, so make sure you check with your airlines. If you're traveling on this Thanksgiving holiday, we'll talk more about the specific weather for central Indiana coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. U.S. forces are launching more operations to fight ISIS in Syria. Coming up, the latest mission as they resume operation alongside the Kurds.
And are you ready to light up the Circle City just after the break? We have your chance to win tickets to the Christmas Nights of Lights display at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It's 5:43. We'll be right back.
Time now is 5:46 here on your Wednesday, and here's a live look at I-465 and I-69 up on the northeast side. Traffic here is picking up, as you can see, traveling up to speed. No crashes to report around the metro area.
The U.S. is resuming large-scale operations with Kurdish forces against ISIS in northern Syria. A statement by the Combined Joint Task Force said that despite recent tensions and a pause in operations against ISIS, the coalition is, quote, committed to the relentless pursuit of ISIS. The task force also confirmed that a mission conducted last Friday led to the death of multiple ISIS fighters. A construction worker had to be rescued after he fell 50 feet into a hole in Arizona. Officials say the man was working at a new housing development when he fell into a dry well covered by plywood. Rescue crews were able to get him out of the trench about 5 hours later. The man was taken to the hospital, but thankfully is not seriously injured.
Wow. It is 5:47. A secretive startup backed by Bill Gates has found a way for sunlight to replace fossil fuels. Heliogen is a clean energy company that's using artificial intelligence and mirrors to generate solar energy. The field of mirrors can reflect sunlight to generate extreme heat that can be used for some industrial needs. The company says it can create the required heat to make things like cement, steel, and glass. Heliogen's CEO says it plans to announce its first customers to use the technology soon. No sunlight today, though, Todd, here in central Indiana. The Storm Team 6 alert day. What can we expect out there?
You know, it's been a wet morning for us, but the front is almost all the way through. So that's the good news for that aspect of the forecast, as we'll be getting rid of this rain shortly. You notice the rain is on the far eastern side of the state now. And if this rain is through your neighborhood, with the exception of a hit or miss shower this afternoon, you are done with it. Westport to Greensburg up to Connorsville, we're dealing with the rain. We'll slide to the north. Winchester just south of you, some pretty good rain in between you and Fountain City. Then Portland, some rain, some spotty showers in Anderson up towards Marion, and that is just about it as far as what we'll call steady rainfall. But this is the front that's moving through, so things will change obviously with a front making its way through the area. So while we lose this steady rain, a couple of these showers again could pinwheel through here during the morning and into the afternoon hours. If you see it, it's not going to last very long, but thankfully with the track of the storm system, all the snow is staying way to our north, so you do not have to worry about any wintry weather with this system moving through. However, this front, once it does fully pass through the area, is going to result in the winds really starting to kick up. So a high wind warning's in effect essentially from I-70 to the north, and that's for gusts up to 60 miles per hour, with that 60 mile per hour speed being probably the further north you go. From Indianapolis southward, it's a wind advisory, and the difference is the wind's probably not quite as strong in southern locations, but still gusting up to 40 miles per hour. These wind speeds can cause power outages, can cause trees to come down, branches to come down. So just be very careful here later on today. Now, we're in the process of ramping these winds up. So wind gusts right now between 26 and 36 miles per hour across the area. It's nice and mild. You walk out the door this morning, you think, oh, it's going to be a great day. Despite the wind, temperatures are nice and mild. We've already hit our high for the day today. Once this front goes through, 40s in Peoria, 30s in Des Moines, we'll see our temperatures fall pretty quickly here throughout the course of the day, going from 58 at 6 a.m. into the mid-40s by this afternoon, then eventually low 40s as we work our way into the latter afternoon, early evening hours. If you're up early tomorrow heading to Broad Ripple, over 17,000 people already signed up for the Drumstick Dash to support the Wheeler mission. Great cause. The run temperature should be right around the freezing mark, mostly cloudy. The winds will be much calmer tomorrow. That's the good news, and dry conditions for that run. And after you run, or you're not running and you're just going to go for the family dinner, Thanksgiving forecast not bad. 42 degrees, mostly cloudy skies for us. Friday, Black Friday shopping. Could be a few very spotty showers around, but nothing major. The better rain chances once again over the weekend as a bigger storm system heads our way. Lauren.
All right, Todd, here's a look right now. Your west side commute heading in on I-74. No delays. It's a 15-minute drive at this hour from State Road 39 all the way to the I-465 ramp. So great news as you're traveling through that area. Let's take a look out here by the airport. We are monitoring an issue here on the interstates. It looks like traffic is still traveling up to speed, though, both eastbound and westbound. So if you're heading out to catch one of those early morning flights or dropping someone off at the airport, you shouldn't have any problems getting there or leaving the airport this morning.
New York City is sending a message to FedEx and its delivery robots. Keep them off the streets. Last week, tweets showed this bot roaming through the city. The 6-wheeled robot called Roxo delivers packages straight to a customer's door. Lawyers for the city sent a cease and desist letter to FedEx saying the robots were violating traffic laws. City law says that vehicles cannot operate on sidewalks and must have at least one hand on the steering mechanism when moving. A FedEx spokesperson said the machine was visiting New York for a special event. Mariah Carey is breaking records this holiday season after the break her popular hit that is now back on the charts. And it's the moment you've been waiting for. Right now is the perfect chance for a little holiday fun this weekend. We're giving away tickets to the Christmas Nights of Lights display at the Indiana State Fairgrounds this Friday. The tickets are good for an entire carload of people, so you can take the whole family. All you have to do is be the 6th caller right now at 317-269-1459. And if you don't win right now, we're giving away more tickets later this morning. So stick around and good luck. Mariah Carey gets an early Christmas present, a Guinness World Records title. The pop diva is being honored for the achievements attached to her classic international hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You. The popular song set 3 world records for highest charting holiday song on the Billboard U.S. Hot 100 by a solo artist, the most streamed track on Spotify in a 24-hour period by a female singer, and most weeks in the UK singles top 10 for a Christmas song. All I Want for Christmas Is You is one of the best selling holiday songs in history. There's a typo there and it threw me off. I didn't know what that said.
I heard that song this morning.
Did ya?
On the radio already.
Well, it does not feel Christmas-like outside this morning. It's more almost Easter-like, I'd say, with this warm weather and the rain, Todd.
You know, you walk out the door and you're like, oh yeah, you're right. It feels like spring outside right now. Temperatures close to 60 degrees. We got some rain. A few of you heard a rumble of thunder overnight. Don't get used to it. The cold front is now working its way into the area. The rain is on the eastern side of the state. So we're almost done with the rain, but now we just wait for the winds to kick in. They will throughout the day. High wind warnings to the north, wind advisories to the south. Gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. We'll talk about the wind and your Thanksgiving forecast coming up in the next hour of Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. We'll be right back.